Good morning. It's an honor to be here. I have done quite a lot of this over the last couple of years. I'm really looking forward to sharing our story, and hopefully this can make an impact on your life this morning. My son Luke was 9 years old. On July 28th, 2015, I received a phone call that Luke had been in a golf cart accident. We didn't know how bad it was. One person actually told me that Luke broke his nose. That's all he told me. We got to the hospital and we found out it was much more serious. The golf cart landed on top of Luke, and Luke suffered chest and head trauma. He was in cardiac arrest for 7 minutes, which means he was gone for 7 minutes. For the next 44 days, Luke was in the hospital. For the first 8 days, we didn't know if Luke was brain dead. Next to sports, Luke has a real passion for music. One of the doctors asked us, would Luke mind if I played the ukulele for him? I said, sure. At that time, we saw brain activity for the very first time, 8 days after the accident. We were transferred to Cook Children's Hospital in Fort Worth, where Luke spent 4 months. But on September 10th of 2015, we were in a room with doctors, nurses, and therapists. The last person to speak to us was our neurosurgeon. He told me and my wife that based on Luke's MRI, Luke would never use his limbs, never use his voice, and should never open his eyes again. We didn't know what to think. We didn't know, is this possible? This can't be happening to us. But a month later, he started to use his limbs a little bit. He started to open his eyes a little bit. And he made some sounds. On January 6th of 2016, 5 months after the accident, we came home to Lubbock. I was the tennis coach at Texas Tech for 23 years. I have 4 children. And I decided on July 8th of 2015 to resign so that I could spend more time with my children. At the time, they were your age. 2 of the girls were. Luke was 9. 20 days after the accident, 20 days after I resigned, Luke had his accident. So I've actually spent a lot less time with my children. So the first 6 months after the accident, I had a very, very difficult time. I'm someone that loves to be around other people, but it was difficult for me because my son, my hero, my sports fan, had a brain injury, and I didn't know what I could do. I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to act. It took me a long time to get even close to how I am today. In August of 2016, at my children's middle school, my daughter at the time was in 8th grade, the other one was in 6th grade. And I was asked to speak at an FCA. And that night, I thought to myself, what can I share with the students that also has applied to me? And when you leave today, this handout that you're going to get will show some of the things that I'm talking about that I believe can impact you not only today, but for the rest of your life. The first thing is to find your passion. The reason I bring that up is because I had lost all of my passion. I had lost my passion to live. I had lost my passion because I used to be so passionate about sports, my family, my faith, but it was difficult for me. Passion gives you energy. Passion helps you move forward. I hope that all of you are passionate about school. Hope you're passionate about your family and your faith. Hope you have a lot of passion. But don't ever let anyone tell you you can't have passion, or that you can't be successful at something, but you have to have passion. When I was coaching tennis at Texas Tech, I needed my athletes to be passionate about tennis, but really passionate about hard work. I had lost my passion, and I'm regaining my passion every day because I'm now helping other children just like Luke. So this sweatshirt that I'm wearing that shows Team Luke Hope for Minds, I'm the executive director of this nonprofit organization. And this has given me my passion back. We now help children who have suffered a brain injury. We have seen children who have suffered from a car accident or an accident like Luke's, near fatal drownings. And it's given me my passion back to be able to help others. The second thing is don't ever quit. This applies to all of you all the time. Whether you're in sports, some of you may have come to school this morning, I'm too tired, I don't feel like getting up, I don't want to be at school today. I assume that most of you, if not all of you, have a phone. Don't get it out now if you have it. But if you have a phone, and it's on the handout until you'll be able to do it later, is follow Luke's story on Instagram or on Twitter or on Facebook. Luke.Siegel. So when you're having a tough day and you think to yourself, I wasn't ready for this test, or I got into a fight with my friend or my sister or brother, go on to Luke.Siegel on Instagram, and maybe, just maybe, Luke will give you more strength, more inspiration, and more fight to get through the day. Don't ever quit. The reason I bring up don't ever quit is because I had moments, a lot of moments, where I felt like quitting. Every single night for the first couple of years, and now 4 nights a week, I sleep next to Luke. Every 3 hours I have to wake up to turn Luke so that he doesn't get bed sores. Difficult for me to fall back asleep. And when I'm that tired, I think to myself, I don't know if I can keep going, but I do. Because I look over at Luke and I realize he's not quitting, I'm not going to quit. The third one, and this may be the most important for every single one of you in this room, and that is to lean on friends, family, counselors, teachers, coaches, siblings. Lean on your friends when things aren't going well. You know what I did after the accident? I didn't answer the doorbell. I didn't answer the phone. I didn't want to be around anyone. It took me about 6 months. I just didn't want to be around anybody. It was too tough for me. But you know what? That wasn't healthy for me, and it certainly wasn't healthy for Luke. It wasn't helping Luke. And so, when you guys, and there's 2 things you can do when it comes to leaning on others. When you feel like you're having a hard day, or things are bothering you because of something that happened at home, don't keep things inside. I kept things inside too long. Share them with someone you trust. But also, if you notice someone that's down, that's struggling, a simple, how are you doing today, can make all the difference in the world, because that happens to me every day. I could be in Lubbock, anywhere, at a store, restaurant, and someone comes up to me and they say, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for Luke. And that changes how I feel that day. The fourth one, make good choices, be careful. Luke was on a golf cart that I didn't even know existed at a friend's house. I don't know how 2 9-year-olds can be on a golf cart by themselves on a street. But he was. And because of that, he'll never be able to do what you guys can do. But I imagine that some of you are thinking, yes, but that could never happen to me. I would have thought the same thing. My son was an unbelievable athlete. Loved to play baseball, football, basketball. Great little athlete. How could this happen to Luke? Well, it did. Be careful, make good choices. I'm sure you hear your parents. Make good choices today. It applies to everyone from ages 8 to 80. Make good choices, be careful, because it could happen to you. The fifth one is to have faith. My faith is tested every single day. But without my faith, I couldn't stand in front of you all today. It's not easy, but I'm definitely doing better. In August of that year, 2016, I'll never forget it, I was having one of the hardest days after the accident. I was driving all over Lubbock, 20 minutes just driving around town. I ended up at a parking lot at a place called Market Street, which is a grocery store. And I have no idea why I ended up there, because that was 2 blocks from the accident. And I couldn't stand being there, because it made my stomach hurt. But I ended up there. I had my head down. All of a sudden, there's a knock on my window. And someone said to me, I'm praying for you 1 foot in front of the other. And he walked away. 1 foot in front of the other. That's become my motto. All of you, when you stand up, you will take for granted that you can do that you can put 1 foot in front of the other. I hope and pray that one day, Luke can put 1 foot in front of the other. I also know there are days I struggle to put 1 foot in front of the other. That's how tough it is for me. But we hope and pray one day Luke can put 1 foot in front of the other. So don't ever take that for granted. There are so many people that Luke has touched. He's inspired. He has given strength. I think there's 2 reasons why Luke has improved. Number 1 are people like you. The prayers, the support. We have a lot of people that follow our story. The second reason is Luke's a fighter. Luke fights every single day. What you all can do in 5 seconds, it may take Luke 45 minutes. As I speak to you right now, Luke has had a very, very difficult week. Been throwing up almost every day for a week. We're not exactly sure what's wrong. He can't really tell us. Our form of communication is blinking his eyes and occasionally moving his tongue. I will say to Luke, hey Luke, do you think our New Orleans Saints are going to win today? And he'll move his tongue. And speaking of the New Orleans Saints, how many of you know who Drew Brees is? That's good, because he's from this great city of Austin. Well, we are the biggest New Orleans Saints fans in the world. I'm from New Orleans. And Luke and I made a pact that every year we were going to go to the Superdome in New Orleans to watch our Saints play. And we did that for 3 years. And then the accident happened. Well, we've gone 3 years since. We get to a private plane, and I take Luke to the Saints game, even though most of the time he's asleep. But we also have gone to the Saints practice. Drew Brees sent Luke a video telling him how much he prayed for him, and that he couldn't wait to see Luke at a game. 2 years ago, we went to see Drew Brees. You know what he told Luke? I'm going to throw you a pass one day. Last year, I took one of Luke's best friends to practice. You know what Drew Brees did? He threw a ball to Luke's friend and handed it to Luke. So in a way, he threw a pass to Luke. He also told Luke that if they won the game, he was going to give Luke the game ball. And that game ball is sitting in our living room. This May, Drew Brees came to Lubbock, Texas to do a big fundraiser for us. He came to our house for an hour. And in Luke's room, there's pictures of Drew Brees everywhere. And there's Drew Brees in our room. You see, Drew Brees is impacting Luke, but Luke has also impacted Drew Brees. We have another athlete, Elvis Andrews. Everybody know who that is? Elvis Andrews is the shortstop of the Texas Rangers. Luke loves Elvis Andrews. Elvis Andrews came to visit Luke in the hospital. Elvis Andrews sends us videos. Elvis Andrews is someone that we speak about all the time. Because I know that when I say, hey Luke, guess what? Drew Brees, the Saints won today. Luke's eyes open up bigger. I believe he understands. Luke is trapped inside his body. But I believe, I have faith, and I have hope. Because hope is a word now that I think about and I use all the time. I have hope that Luke is going to get better. There's one more athlete. Patrick Mahomes. We know who that is. Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. He also was the quarterback at Texas Tech. Luke loved Patrick Mahomes. This Sunday, I want you all to do me a favor. This Sunday, I think it's at 12 o'clock, the Chiefs will be playing on TV against the Baltimore Ravens. But there's going to be something special that's going to happen this week at the game. Patrick Mahomes will be wearing special cleats. And on those cleats, it will say, Team Luke, Hope for Minds. Patrick Mahomes has sent us videos. He has visited with Luke when he was in Lubbock. You see, Luke is making an impact on so many people. I've had parents come up to me and tell me that they parent a different way. They talk to their children in a different way. I've had kids come up to me and tell me they now pray more than they ever have. It's very special to to see what Luke is doing for others. I was told last week by a friend, you know, I believe that you were called to basically spread good to others. Luke 4:18, that Bible verse is special. Luke was born on 4:18. And that Bible verse basically says that Luke was appointed to spread good to the poor. Luke was spreading good. And somehow, some way, this devastating injury is doing something for me and something for Luke. The last thing I want to mention, I know everyone in this room knows who Ed Sheeran is, right? Ed Sheeran. Luke loved Ed Sheeran. I played Ed Sheeran music to Luke all the time. He didn't really want to listen to my favorite, Bruce Springsteen, but he listened to Ed Sheeran. Well, since the accident, I've played Ed Sheeran's music to Luke every day. Sometimes I say, hey Luke, you want to hear Ed Sheeran? He doesn't move his tongue. Sometimes he does. Well, a year ago, Ed Sheeran was in Dallas at a concert. Well, guess what we did? We went backstage to meet Ed Sheeran. And in the concert, Ed Sheeran wore Luke's bracelet during this concert. So even a musician has been inspired by Luke. And speaking of music, I approached someone about a year ago. Would you consider writing a song for us? He said, I don't know, that's a lot of pressure. I don't know if I can write a song. I said, it would mean the world to me and to Luke if you could write a song. He was a pastor at our church. And so he came up with this amazing song called My Boy. It's incredibly powerful. And there's so many things that we are doing as Team Luke Hope for Minds. We support children all over the country. Matter of fact, there's a marathon here in Austin in February. We have a lot of things, events going on. We would love for all of you to be involved, whether you're just following Luke on Instagram, or you're praying, or you're spreading the word. Before we listen to this song, I have one request for all of you. Please, the handout that we give to you, if any of those 5 things applies to you, keep it by your bed. Keep it in your bathroom. Keep it in a locker. But also share it with a friend. Share it with someone who's not here today. Because I imagine that every one of you can be impacted by at least one, if not all 5 of those things that impacted me. So at this time, I want you all to pay attention to this 5-minute song. It's called My Boy. It's on YouTube. My Boy, in parentheses, it's called Luke's Song. And here it is. Thank you.
giving up. Lean on friends, family, coaches, counselors, siblings. Make good choices, be careful, and have faith.
Never lose hope. When you fall, don't you quit. We serve a God that's bigger than this. Roll and roll.
I always said, Luke, you're my boy, right? Always. That was my go-to from Luke, you're my boy. I'd be at a red light and I'd say, Luke, you're my boy. 1 mile later, you're my boy. And every time he'd say, sure, or he'd say, right, Dad. And then sometimes I would say, just to see if he'd give me a reaction I didn't like. He never did. Always. You're my boy, right?
My son.